Namaskar. Welcome to the Gazali. This is a special edition of Gazali with a very special guest with us, Dr. Rajagopal Chidambaram. The moment we say R. Chidambaram, we remember Pokhran 1 in 1975 and Pokhran 2 in 1998. The man who was playing key role in both these nuclear tests, who made India proud, and he is none other than Dr. R. Chidambaram. It's very good to have you with us on Prudent Media channel. Dr. Chidambaram was awarded the highest civilian honor in India, the second highest, Padma Vibhushan, in 1999 for the contribution he gave for Indian nuclear weapon program. Welcome, Dr. R. Chidambaram. You are now in Goa for Science Film Festival of India. This is the 4th edition which is being organized in Goa, and you have witnessed the overwhelming response of students, teachers and the film lovers who have come down for this. What is your experience of this Sci-Fi 2019?
Well, this is the first time I'm coming to the Sci-Fi Festival, and I think it is a very excellent and very successful method of outreach, of science outreach.
Okay.
It is telling about science, developments in science, the advances that are taking place in science, to school children in particular, and also to others who are attending your film festival.
Yeah, today morning we saw you interacting with the students before and after the movie Paramanu, which was based upon the 1998 nuclear testing. So especially how was that interaction, and how did you find students asking questions?
No, they were very interesting questions, and some of them are very sophisticated questions that they asked. Of course, they were, why were the tests necessary? That was one kind of undercurrent.
Okay.
And I had to tell them the greatest advantage of recognized strength is that you don't have to use it. And that is the principle of nuclear deterrence, to avoid any threats against India. And about how these 5 countries had formed a club and then wanted to keep everybody out. And for a long time we were just keeping our nuclear option open from between after 1974, but it's not something you can keep open indefinitely. So we got a chance. We have been waiting in the Bhabha Atomic Research Center at the Department of Atomic Energy for that test to be carried out, and we got an opportunity 24 years later. So
during Atal Bihari Vajpayee as Prime
came
Minister.
out during my interactions with the children.
Yeah. At this moment, I would like to add that Dr. R. Chidambaram was the principal scientific advisor for the government of India for over 16 long years. So sitting at that top position of policy making for science and technology, how do you see the past, present and future of Indian science and technology?
See, the scientific business of the government has been divided into many departments. Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Space, there is Department of Biotechnology, Department of Agriculture and so on, and all of them are doing extremely well. From the position as the principal scientific advisor and our office, I took up problems which don't fall specifically in any one of these areas, or parts fall into a number of areas. So one of the major things which we did was enhancing academia-industry interaction, enhancing, and this is technology specific. This is one end. See, in interacting with the industry, there is this chain: research, development, delivery. Academic institutions are good in research, industry is good in delivery, and so we had to create interfaces which are sector specific for these two to come together. Machine tools, for instance, we started after the automobile, we started on machine tools, and we gave a project to IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, interacting with an industry, and they may have made the world's best grinding machine tool.
Okay.
And this project has been so successful that now the Ministry of Heavy Industry has given them a very big project on advanced manufacturing with 10 projects. For example, we found that we should not miss the nanoelectronics revolution. So fortunately, the Ministry of Information and IE and Electronics Information Technology, I said, give me 100 crores through a transparent discussion. I'll find out 2 places in India who are best equipped to start world-class centers in nanoelectronics. And after open discussion, we selected Institute of Science Bangalore and then IIT Bombay. And now they have become world-class centers. And we also said these are national facilities. It should be used by everybody. And we have created an Indian National Users Program so that they can all.
In addition to nanotechnology, we also see you often speaking about genomics, robotics or artificial intelligence. Like for me, like a common person, like a man who is dealing with nuclear weapons or dealing with nuclear programs and from a physics background, okay, also thinking about all these things is something amazing. So what are the challenges with these fields?
See, for example, one of the big things we wanted, nowadays with connectivity getting more and more important, we decided we should have a national knowledge network. That project was approved by the government, and it's a big project under the National Informatics Center, which has now successfully connected 1,600 knowledge institutions in the country. All universities, all national labs, they are all connected. There is a backbone network which is being increased at sets of 10 gigs, as we call it, 10 gigabits per second. And from there it goes to 1,600 user institutions. And anybody can now interact with anybody for any purpose. Right. One of the big things that we use is remote teaching. Because ultimately it ends into what we call massive online courses. But even in very specific, specialized areas, the professors at one place can do to many places.
Right.
For example, we created what we call a brain grid.
Brain grid.
Brain grid. That means among those people who have access to these nodes, all those who are interested in, let us say, Alzheimer's, or for that matter, stroke, to the extent that they want to share their clinical data, they can do that using this brain grid. Collaborations are now possible. Binary things are possible. Both of us, or 2 institutions have such nodes. For example, National Brain Research Center has a node, and they've got a good MRI machine for looking at epilepsy. So what they do, even as a patient is on the table, they connect to the epilepsy expert in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and they together discuss how we should take this treatment forward. And the remote person can tell you, why not you take the scan from this side also. We are now connected internationally to all the major networks like Internet 2 in the US or the European Union grid, or the CERN grid. Data from the Large Hadron Collider used to come directly to the collaborating institutions for any detector because of this national knowledge network. We have our own POPs or points of presence, as we call it, in Geneva and Amsterdam. From Geneva we go to CERN, from Amsterdam we can go to North America, Singapore we can go to this side. So all these developments are now taking place.
At this moment, according to you, which are the 2 major challenges India is facing or which India has to overcome?
You see, I think, and many people think like me, that energy security and climate change are the major challenges. In fact, for the whole world, particularly energy security for us. For a long time I have been saying, instead of using the 3 parameters which United Nations uses, you can define the Human Development Index in terms of only 2 parameters. per capita electricity consumption and female literacy. I prefer female literacy to adult literacy because it's a measure not only of literacy but equity and justice in that society. Wherever the average literacy is lower, the difference between male and female literacy is higher. And it's very clear India cannot become a developed country unless we become near 100% literate without gender discrimination. The other two parameters I have shown in articles I wrote 20 odd years back, that per capita GNP as well as life expectancy at birth can be replaced by per capita electricity consumption. And this has to go for India to become a developed country by at least 6 to 8 times. 6 times.
6 times.
6 times. That's why all energy options are important for India. But we have to exercise these options keeping the climate change threat in mind. Not that we have contributed. Our per capita carbon dioxide emission is only 1/10 of the United States, 1/20th of some of the smaller countries. But they put only integral figures. But then I tell them, anything per capita in India, you multiply our population, the number will look big. But that doesn't mean anything. We are not the people who are doing this, but we are willing to go along with you. That's why the Prime Minister started this international solar alliance, both nuclear energy and renewable energy, solar energy and wind.
These days we find a lot of protests and resistance to the nuclear energy plants coming up. Do you really feel that they are so much damaging as the fear which is created in the mind of common man?
No, you see, actually the opposition is not all that much. Some of it it only gets propagated
hyped
in the media. You see, that Fukushima happened. We can't say Fukushima accident did not happen. But even Japan is now coming back, and slowly they are recommissioning all their reactors. There's nothing
Nuclear
wrong with
reactors.
the reactor.
Yeah.
But there was a very unexpectedly high tsunami that came, which they had not predicted. See, this unusual event. So the tsunami is so high, the alternate source of power got inundated, the diesel power. So now what the regulatory agencies have done is to give further margins to ensure that all the safety features will apply, even in the case of extreme events. And in this last June, the Director General of the IAEA made a statement to the Board of Governors last year June that 57 reactors are now under construction in the world, 57 reactors. 1/3 in China, 7 in India, including Bangladesh and United Arab Emirates. So that part is now slowly, people realize.
Yes, and we need energy, there is a lot of constraint.
We need energy, without energy there is no growth.
Yes, true. Sir, in 1956, when you were just 20, that is the time you graduated in physics. Since then, for last 63 years, you are into Indian science. You have seen the progress of independent India from 1947 till today, how the things are picking up. At this conjuncture, when you already were part of the major policy making at the center, how do you feel the youth in India or the new young researchers in India, are they capable of taking the challenge of Indian domination in the field of technology?
See, you look at the successes we have had in the nuclear program or the space program and many aspects of the defense research program. And as I was quoting in my talk this afternoon, the Director General of International Atomic, Amano, considers India a leader in the field of nuclear energy, as a mentor for other countries who are entering this field for the first time.
Do you find any difference in the way India developed its nuclear weapon or nuclear energy and the way other nations they developed it? Is there any basic difference in the procedure or knowledge sharing that you see?
See, we were very lucky to have somebody like Dr. Homi Bhabha, who founded our nuclear energy program. And he thought of building reactors in India at a time where we are not even building bicycles. You know, that is the vision. That is a vision, and an optimism and self-confidence about the people in India. And the greatness of Baba was that not only was he a great visionary leader, but he had a leadership swarm with him in various fields, you know, Rajaramanna in physics, Homi Setna in chemical engineering, Brahma Prakash in metallurgy, A.S. Rao in electronics. And he created an environment where the atomic energy continues to generate leaders in this field. You take our space program. The PSLV is one of the most robust launch vehicles in the world. And they do it for 20 countries, not only launch our satellites.
Yes.
And they hold a kind of record for launching 100 satellites in one launch. And they are very successful, and they are now thinking of a manned mission.
So can we say that,
the success story. So wherever we have done it in a mission-oriented mode, we have been extremely successful.
So none of these technologies, when we were doing it indigenously, were copied or stolen from any other countries?
See, it's not, the case of weapons, of course, we stole nothing. There is no,
yes.
This they recognize. India is the only country.
That's what I was asking.
In the case of weapons, we have, you know, there is this Venn diagram drawn by Payne and Mackenzie. Soon after we did our nuclear test.
In 1998.
For each country there is a circle. When two circles overlap, there is a sharing of nuclear knowledge between them. And that is continuous from all over, all countries. From Russia to China, China to Pakistan, and US to France, and so on. India stands alone there. They concede. Firstly, we didn't try to take knowledge from anybody in the nuclear weapons field, nor did we spy and steal anything, as many people have done by spying and all that. We have not done that.
So it's a matter of great pride for India to be really original when it came to nuclear weapon program. Sir, I would also like to ask you one more thing. What is your dream for future India?
See, the India of my dreams, India of the young people's dream, is an India which is economically developed, scientifically advanced, and militarily strong. This should be my dream. For that, it has to be driven by science and technology's growth. And fortunately, successive governments have given always a push to science and technology.
Sir, what is it that keeps you going at the age of 82? You are so efficient, so fresh. Now we are observing you for this festival on your toes all the time, interacting with maybe a 10-year-old to even a 70-year-old. So what is it, the secret behind your enthusiasm and energy?
I have been like that, so I am like that. There is no particular thing. But you know, you must also keep your physical health good. I've been doing yoga for more than 60 years now. And then I used to play games, like till recently. Now I do walking. That's also important, to keep your physically. Of course, then it is luck. As far as health is concerned, there's nothing you can say. Anything can happen to anybody, anytime.
Right now, have you decided any mission for after retiring from the post of PSA in March 2018? Have you decided anything, any path for guiding the researchers in India?
Nothing like that. I have gone back to my old early areas of research. See, my main area of research was in crystallography, structure of crystals, and high pressure physics. And those people who are my students at one time are leaders in this field, so very easy to join them. So try to contribute something over there. There are fields like artificial intelligence and cyber security which interest me very much, more in the sense of encouraging others to do it. I'm very much interested in rural development, so wherever possible I am trying to encourage people.
It is really a very nice moment to see your dreams, and I think we can talk for 2 more hours because there is so much that we can ask you about Pokhran 1, Pokhran 2, and maybe your tryst with Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, or maybe with Professor Abdul Kalam, the ex-Prime Minister of India. So at this juncture, I think along with me, the audience also would be interested in knowing from you that how was your experience with Prime Minister like Atal Bihari Vajpayee and also Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, because you were actually sharing the mission that made history for India.
Yeah. You know, it was very lucky that we got Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji as the Prime Minister at the right time. See, no other country has taken 24 years to do the next testing after 74. Though we called it a peaceful nuclear explosion. But physics-wise, there's no difference between a peaceful nuclear explosive and a nuclear weapon.
Right.
Of course, this time we really tested what we would call the nuclear weapon. You see, keeping the nuclear option open indefinitely would not have worked for beyond a time, because knowledge tends to attenuate. Some of the people in knowledge retire. Then you may say option open, but it becomes very difficult to exercise the option. So it is very lucky for us, and I would say for the country, that Atalji was there at the right time and he gave us a signal. Of course, all these people are saying Indian economy will collapse and nothing happened. Actually, really nothing happened.
Yeah.
But they said we are not bothered. We want India to be strong.
Yes.
We want to be India to be a nuclear weapon state. So you go ahead and do it. Dr. Abdul Kalam, you know, he is a missile person. You see, the thing is, the nuclear payload has to be packaged to fit into the missile. Unless a peaceful nuclear explosion, then you can do it. There is no need to, there is no space restriction or anything, or any other restriction in terms of it's able to withstand gravity and all that kind of accelerating force and so on. So it so happened that when we carried out the tests, of course I had interacted with him earlier when I was designing the device for the PNE. At that time, Vikram Sarabhai ji was the chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission. So one day I was telling him, this must have been 1970 or 71, I don't remember, that I need high-speed detonators. Then he said, there is a young man in Trivandrum, in the Vikram, in that center, Space Research Center, is working on detonators. And I went with him to Trivandrum. And that was Kalam, that happened to be Kalam.
Okay.
But of course, for space, they don't need such high-speed detonator. He was making sub-millisecond detonators. I wanted sub-microsecond detonators. Then, of course, the right people, we quickly changed to the Terminal Ballistics Research Lab in Chandigarh. And then, of course, they have got DRDO, other labs which make high explosives, like in Pune, High Explosive Research Lab. And they are the ones who really collaborated with BAC in designing the device. Because everything starts with explosive ballistics, but that design was made in BAC and then implemented in collaboration with the TBRL, DRDO lab in Chandigarh.
Now, since you are in Goa, we as Goans would like to know the contribution of Dr. Anil Kakodkar, because he is son of the soil of Goa.
Anil Kakodkar was one of our leading scientists with that, and when we did the tests, I was chairman ACI and he was director BAC. And he made a very big contribution to the test, because to bring all those efforts together, and we had such wonderful scientists who had collaborated from BRC. Most, of course, 74 is very early, then we had also wonderful scientists. But in the 98 tests, very leading role was there for Anil Kakodkar.
Thank you very much, sir. And on behalf of the viewers of Prudent Media, I really thank you very much. It was a great opportunity to meet you and to be with you because it's something great for people like us to have a scientist of your stature discussing with us so many things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji, for that interview. Thank you very much.